it's Jacqueline. It is Sunday, October 9th, 2022, and I hope you're all having a great day. If you will just tell me in the comments if you can see me and hear me, that will be great. That way we just know that all of our technical stuff is in order as we get going here. So as I mentioned, it's October 9th. So I live in the northeastern part of the United States, and this is like the season for perfect fall weather. So we've been having some really nice sunny days. Last weekend, we had like 4.5, 5 days of rain as Hurricane Ian came up the coast, and it was just dreary and blah. And I mean, certainly, you know, I will take the rainy, dreary days over the terrible devastation that the hurricane gives you when it hits you head on, like those poor people in Florida. But we did get a lot of rain out of it and clouds, and it was so just blah. And I was feeling like by the day 3, I was just like blah, and I had no energy and no motivation. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And then I realized that I hadn't seen the sun in several days, and so that probably had something to do with it. But anyway, so we have had really nice days, and we actually went yesterday, my husband and I went over to Winterthur in Wilmington, Delaware, which is a museum and garden. It's pretty close to where we live. And it was just, there weren't a lot of things in bloom, but it was just such a nice day to go walking, and the fields were turning. The fields were full of goldenrod, and there were the little orange butterflies, and I forget the name of them, that you see like at the end of the season. So, and then the purples in the fields, and it was just like a perfect fall day. And they actually had a needlework exhibit, a needlepoint exhibit. So that was really interesting, seeing like these really old needlepoint samplers. And to me, it's always interesting when you see like a whole needlepoint sampler made by 10-year-old Mary Smith, and it took her like 6 months to make or something. And it's just like, I think about all of my unfinished projects, and I think about little Mary Smith, 10 years old, who got a complete needlepoint sampler done in 6 months. So kind of inspired me to maybe finish some of my projects. So it was just really super interesting. I always just like the history part of needlework and kind of seeing you know, what we do now, the modern things now, and we have the machines and all the fun gadgets, and but it was still, you know, that handwork was such an important part of life back then. And for us who are creative and like to sew, it's a really important part of life right now. So I always kind of like seeing those old antique pieces and kind of making that connection of, you know, if Mary Smith was around today, or if I was around 200 years ago, like we would have been friends, because we kind of have the same interests in making things with our hands. So anyway, so it was a nice trip, a nice day out yesterday. And this is just, if you are in the fall season in the northern hemisphere, it's a nice cozy time of year. It just seems to be that time of year where we like to do a lot of homemaking things, you know, like baking, sewing, going to craft fairs. What are some other things we like to do? Oh, going to like the pumpkin orchard or the apple orchard, all those kinds of fun things. Watching Hallmark movies because the weather's getting cold and you feel like you want to stay in and snuggle up and watch a good movie. And here's something I just found out, a little tip. If you don't have cable, or you don't get the Hallmark channel, or any of those channels, or you just don't, maybe there aren't any shows on that interest you, if you go over to YouTube and search for the Lifetime channel, Lifetime has been putting all of their old 2015, like romantic Christmas movies on YouTube, and you can watch the whole movie for free, and they don't even put that many commercials in them. So I've been kind of like binge watching these Christmas movies already over on YouTube, and they are Lifetime movies. So just a little tip if you're looking for a new source for like Christmas movies. I know it's only October, but some of us like to start Christmas right about now. So anyway, we're going to be doing a giveaway today. And all of this talk about like homemaking and coziness kind of leads me into our question for the giveaway. So to enter the giveaway, what you're going to do is tell us in the comments to this Facebook Live where you are from and what's your favorite kind of fall, autumn activity. It could be one of those things that I just mentioned, or maybe you've got a thing in particular like that you do every year, or a family tradition or something like that. So in the comments where you're from, your favorite autumn activity, and at the end of this Facebook Live, we are going to draw a name at random, and they will get a prize, and in a little while I'll show you what the prize is going to be. It's something kind of cute. So anyway, Homemaking makes me feel, I don't know, it just makes me feel calm. Like I like being in my house. I don't like going out a lot. Never really did. Sometimes I do, but I like to spend the majority of my time like in my house, kind of nesting and just doing those homemaking things. Baking, cooking, working in the garden, making things with my hands. And like that nesting thing now especially makes me feel really calm. Because the outside world, let's face it right now, is really kind of crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on out there, and I get into my house, I get especially into my sewing room, and it's just like a little place of safety. It's like a little cocoon. I kind of forget my problems for a while. I get engrossed in my project or my Christmas movie, sometimes both. And yeah, it's just kind of like a nice, safe place. So you know what? Being creative is a really cheap form of therapy. I'll just put it that way. You can go to a therapist, but sometimes just being creative and having that quiet time, that quiet space in your sewing room is really just kind of like what you need to kind of recharge and that kind of thing. So just a little tip as we go into this cozy season of autumn. So let's see. Oh, you know what else I was thinking about the other day? Thinking about coziness. My grandmother, and I think I've showed these before. My grandmother, I have a whole pile of embroideries that my grandmother did. She made all these hand embroidered like table runners and table doilies and stuff. I've got a pile like this of them. And she made them during World War II when she and my grandfather were just courting, and he was in the Navy and he was off to war, and she spent her evenings sitting and doing embroidery waiting for him to come home. And so now whenever I look at those embroidered things, so these pieces are what, like 80 years old now. And Grandma and Grandpa have both been gone for probably 10 to 15 years now, both of them. And but whenever I look at her pile of embroideries, I just think of the stories that she would tell me about how she would work on those while she was waiting for Grandpa to come back. And it was just it was her therapy too. It was the time for her to just kind of get lost in her handwork. And so that, you know, that sense of nostalgia also kind of gives me a sense of sort of happiness and peace to just kind of think about, you know, the legacy that my grandmother passed on to me in just these creative pursuits and making things with our hands. So just a little story about my background, and another reason why creativity means so much to me. You know, it means a lot to me as I think back about, you know, my personal history. So today what I wanted to do, I wanted to show you, I know a lot of you have seen this, but you know, we have been, we've had this new kit in the shop, the Harvest Blessings Table Runner Kit, and a lot of you have already grabbed this kit and told me that you are having a lot of fun putting it together. It's got the fabrics for the top and the pre-printed panels, which are really pretty. We've also got quilt labels available, and we've got the backing kits available. But what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm going to have in a second, I'm going to have my husband kind of zoom in. I wanted to talk about how to trim the panels. Whether you're buying, lots of our kits have these pre-printed panels. Also, you know, a lot of times you go into the store and a lot of the fabric lines have a pre-printed panel that goes with them. But what I wanted to talk about was how to cut them out and trim them. Because what happens with fabric, as you know, is it can have a tendency to kind of stretch. Sometimes just it comes off the bolt that way. As it's going through the manufacturing process. Sometimes it kind of gets stretched and pulled as it's going on the bolt. Sometimes if you're doing embroidery on it, like I did with this one, and if you saw my last Facebook Live, I did a little demonstration about how to do the hand embroidery to embellish your pre-printed panels. And so as you're working it to do embroidery or something like that, it also can kind of stretch and distort. So I just wanted to talk to you really quick. I'm going to do a demonstration of how I cut out my panels to get them nice and straight and even. So your panel design will have usually a little box around it that, you know, signifies the cutting line. However, like I said, a lot of times they're stretched, they're skewed. So if you were to just take your scissors or your rotary cutter and follow this printed line exactly, you could very well end up with a square or a block, which is a block that is not exactly square. And then that's going to make it hard to put it into a project, or you know, have a block that's nice and square and even if you're starting out with a piece of fabric that's not square. So if we could zoom in a little bit, I'm going to give you just one or two really quick tips about how to trim your panels. So the gray line on this is, it is a guideline. And in the instructions it says, and this is my panel from the Harvest Blessings Table Runner Kit, but it says that the gray lines indicate the cut line of 6.5 inches square. So we're going to need to make this table runner. This panel is 6 inches finished. It's 6.5 inches with the seam allowance on it. You know, when you always add a 1/2 inch to your square size, and then that includes your seam allowance for your project. So we want a 6-inch finished square, and so these we need to cut to 6.5 inches. So if I line this up on my cutting mat, now you can see I have lined this line up exactly on this line here, but look at how skewed that is. If this line is lined up here on this line, it's off by a good 1/8 of an inch over here. So you can just cut with your rotary cutter. If you're not real confident about doing this, I like to use a friction pen. We sell these in our online shop. You can get them probably at most quilt shops. What I like about the friction pen is that it disappears with heat. So you can make lines on your project and then you iron them later and the lines will come out. So if I take this and I line this up, and this, by the way, everybody always asks about my cutting mat. This is the Quilt Cut 2. I love it. I really like that the ruler has this rail on it, which holds it secure, because I've purchased all the gadgets for keeping my ruler from slipping when I cut, and inevitably my ruler always seems to slip and fishtail on me. Since I've gotten the Quilt Cut 2, I never ever have that problem. So I'm going to put the link there. We do have an affiliate link over to Amazon if you're interested in purchasing this. And an affiliate link means that if you purchase it over on Amazon, I get a very small commission just for directing you in that direction over to the Amazon site. But it doesn't cost you anything extra. You're still paying the same exact price. So anyway, so I'm going to see how this is lined up here, and then you can see again if I line it up on that line, look at how that's not very straight. And if I line it up here, this is my 1/2 inch mark. There, it's lined up there, but it's not lined up here. So what I'm going to do before I start cutting is I'm going to take my friction pen and I'm just going to mark a line. And I may be out of ink here because this is my pen that I use all the time. Oh no, you can see the line there that I drew. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, and then if I go this way, all right, so I already said I've got this lined up straight on that line, so I don't really need to draw a line there. But if I come here, my 6.5 inch mark, again, if you can see, it's not quite, doesn't quite line up with that pre-printed gray line, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so now I know that I've got a square that I've drawn in that's exactly 6.5 inches, and it's nice and square. I don't have that weird skewing going on. So then what I do is I just cut along my drawn lines. Now what's important to notice is that it's not off so much. You can see this goes off of the square a little bit, but that white part's going to get included in the 1/4 inch seam allowance. So when you sew this into the project, that white section of fabric is not going to show. It's going to be, because your 1/4 inch is right about where my fingernail is, it's going to get included in that seam allowance. So you don't need to worry about that. If you've got a lot of white area, then you might need to finesse it a little bit more because you don't want this white part showing once you sew it into your project. But as long as that white part falls within a 1/4 of an inch where your seam allowance is going to be, you're fine. So I'm going to go ahead . And so remember, I had my line drawn there, and I was lined up down that bottom part where my gray line is, the pre-printed line. So now I'm just following So now, as I mentioned, when I hit this with an iron, those lines that I drew in are going to disappear. And I've got a perfectly square to go into my block. It's not skewed at all. So that's just my little quick demo and tips for cutting any kind of a pre-printed fabric panel. I hope you found that helpful. So, and if you have any questions, you can just put it in the comments. Or if you have other tips or suggestions, you could also put that in the comments too. Because, you know, quilters, we always love learning new ways to do things and kind of getting little tips from everybody. So, yeah, put them, if you have other ideas or questions or tips, just put them in the comments and we'll take a look at them. So, do we have any questions yet?
Dawn loves that can't cutter.
Oh, okay. This is, somebody actually gave this to me. This is the Quilters Select. It is very heavy. So some people don't like it because it's heavy. They're used to a lighter weight cutter. This one is very, very heavy. So just be warned, if you don't like something heavy in your hand, you will not like this one. But I like this one. It's the one that I use most of the time. Any other questions before we move on?
I don't see any other questions right now.
Okay, you guys are quiet today. Okay.
What's the name of the cutter, Matt?
Oh, this is the Quilt Cut 2 by Alto. And we are going to, I believe we have the link in the description if you would like to purchase it. I love it. I've been using it for years and years, and it is my favorite. It's honestly my favorite gadget because it makes my cutting so much more accurate. Okay, so since we were talking... How
many have you gone through?
How many are these mats?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. A lot of mats, but I don't think I've ever thrown one away. I always keep my old mats because they're great for like any kind of crafting, like if you do crafting with glue gun and stuff like that, and you know, it makes a mess. So I save all of my old mats for either I flip them over or I use the cut up side, and they just make a great all-purpose kind of a mat to protect your table if you're doing other kinds of crafts. Painting, you know, if you like to do painting and you don't want to paint on your table. So I've gone through, I don't know, but I've got a stack of old used mats at home that I have not ever thrown away. So I wanted to show you real quick, since, before we move on, because we were just talking about the Harvest Blessings. This is the kit. Comes with the, as I mentioned, the fabrics for the top. And the binding, and it's got a printed pattern in it, and it has these pre-printed labels. Panels, I'm sorry, yes, the panel for the table runner. What we also have available is the labels, and these are great for any autumn themed project. Now this is the label, here, this is what the label might look like on the back of your table runner, and you get nine different labels on this little label panel. So, since we're talking about this, this is actually part of our giveaway today. If you comment in the comments and tell us where you're from and what your favorite autumn activity is, at the end of this Facebook Live, we are going to be drawing at random a winner. And the winner will receive a Harvest Blessings quilt label panel, which again, as I mentioned, they're just really cute, like pumpkins and sunflowers and leaves and acorns. So any fall themed project that you make, you can use these for. And then you're also going to get a quilt pattern, which is cute. It's got hoop quilts. And then you're also going to be getting some, we always have all kinds of little goodies around the office. We get people send us samples and things like that, or sometimes we order too much of something and we have a few left over. So you're going to get some other goodies in your package too. I haven't had a chance yet to kind of go through the office and find what those goodies are going to be. But you will get the labels and you will get the hoop quilts pattern and then some other things. So to enter to win that, you just comment right here on this Facebook Live where you are tuning in from today, your favorite autumn activity, and we will pick a winner at the end of this Facebook Live. Okay, so next thing I wanted to talk about is we are opening up the Art of Home Club for new members. It's going to be open through this Friday, October 14th. But if you join today through tomorrow, through the end of tomorrow, tomorrow is Monday, October 10th, 2022, we have a few different really great bonuses, really, really cute bonuses that you're going to get if you sign up in the first day or two. So I just wanted to show you those bonuses really quick. So today is a great day to sign up for it because of these bonuses. So the first one is the It's a Hoot collection. Now we call them, every month as a member, you're going to get a monthly collection. And we call them a collection because it's not just one pattern or design. You get multiple projects and you're going to get multiple applique or hand embroidery designs. So for example, this was the It's a Hoot collection. And I chose this one to be a bonus because this seemed to be really, really popular when we did this one several months ago. So you can make a placemat. You can make the quilt, and it had 6 different owl designs, and again, applique or hand embroidery. So you could make this placemat with this owl or one of the other 5 owls, and you could also do it with hand embroidery. That one's machine applique. And then our quilt, I will just show you our quilt really quick. This one was also done with machine applique. It's got some really pretty pieced stars. And this is kind of like a modern fall palette with like the purples and the mauves and the greens. You could do it in a traditional fall palette. You could do like, you know, rusts and oranges and browns because owls really kind of have an autumn feel to them. So this could also make a cute autumn quilt. The instructions also have, we always give you lots of ideas for making them too. So you'll also get ideas for maybe making it in blue and gray. That could be really cute for like a boy's room or a girl's room because girls might like blue and gray too. So you could do blue and gray. You could do the placemats maybe in Christmas colors and do like a set of Christmas owl placemats. That would be really cute. Another thing you could do, I mentioned that you get the patterns to do it with applique or hand embroidery. We also have tutorials for doing fabric painting and crayon tinting. So you might want to do that instead for your owls. You might want to try, you know, something new. So there's that. There was the placemat, there was the quilt, there was a wall hanging too as far as projects. So lots of different things you can do with that collection. So that's just bonus number 1. Bonus number 2 was the Gnome for the Holidays collection. And this one again was really popular. This was from last year, about a year ago, and everybody really loved this one, so I pulled this one out for a bonus as well. So for this one, we have a mug rug. We have the little pillow, and it's got a gnome, and it says Gnome for the Holidays. And this one I did with crayon tinting with my embroidery, so it just kind of adds a little touch of color. And we also had in that collection a pattern for an advent calendar. So you can see this has all of the little pockets. You could put little treats and toys and things in here for Advent. And another thing I just wanted to point out, I mentioned that you always get lots of options. If you're not, I know a lot of people love gnomes. Gnomes are very popular right now. But if you're not really into gnomes, there are other patterns in the collection that you could use. We've got the Christmas tree. We've got the little cute little cottagey house. We've got this says home is where the heart is. So there are other designs that you could do. You know, if you wanted to make the mug rug with the little house on it or the little Christmas tree, you could do that too. So lots of mixing and matching in the Art of Home Club. And we always give you lots of ideas for how to use your patterns, as I mentioned, because really the whole idea when I started this club, and we've had the club going for, I think it's 6 years this month. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? We've been doing this. So we are up to something like 70 collections in the Art of Home Club. And most of them are mix and matchable. So, for example, the gnomes, these are 4x8 designs. In the Art of Home Club, you're going to find several other collections that use 4x8 designs. So you could, if you wanted to make this pillow, but not for Christmas, not with gnomes, you could pick one of the other collections that have 4x8 designs in them and use them to make this pillow. So that's just an example. So that was bonus number 2. And now I'm going to show you bonus number 3. Can you believe it? You're going to get all of this as a bonus if you join in the next day and a half, because this is going to go through tomorrow, Monday, the 10th. So we also have our apple basket quilt, which has these really cute appliques on it. And this is just so cute for decorating, you know, throwing it over a chair or sofa. And it's a good snuggle size. So it's also like really nice for snuggling when the weather gets cool, or maybe use it as a picnic blanket. So that is your bonus number 3. So 3 bonuses if you join by end of day tomorrow. So it's a really great time to join. Another reason it's a great time to join is because we are currently in the middle of our annual ornament swap. So this is fun. This is something that lots of our members tell us is like one of their favorite things to do in the club. And this is optional. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But people really do have fun with it. So how it works is you send in 2 ornaments that you make, and we donate one of those ornaments to a charity, such as Meals on Wheels for shut-ins or a local nursing home or something like that. And then the other one gets swapped with another club member. And we do all the shipping for you. You just mail us the 2 ornaments, and then we swap them for you and mail them out. And so really the only requirement is that they're flat and they're less than 4 or 5 inches big, so we can easily ship them back out when we do the swap. So these are just examples of some previous ones that we had. Everybody, the first year we did this, we had our members send in ornaments to decorate our tree when our office was on the local house tour. So these were just some ornaments that we had on our tree, and I've held on to them just because I think they're cute. And we still, when we put our tree up in our office every year, we decorate with these ornaments that our members sent in. So we also give you like patterns and ideas for how to make your ornaments. But really, like I said, people will do them with embroidery, they'll do them with cross stitch, they'll do them with applique, they will just do, piecing, lots of different ways that you can do this. And it's always just fun to see what you get back with the ornament swap. So that's going on right now. If you join the club right now, you can get in on our ornament swap. And again, it's optional. If you don't, if you feel like you can't do it this year, that's fine. Maybe next year you want to do it, who knows? So you also get access to our club website, which has tons and tons and tons of tutorials and fun bonus projects. And those are all good for mixing and matching too. So I just want to show you another example of mixing and matching with the club project. Let me just move some of these things out of the way. So for example, we've got our scrappy mix and match tote bag, and this is all the same exact tote bag, just done different colors and different designs. So this one just had a really simple flower applique. This one was done in red and gray with a hand embroidered butterfly. I think this was my favorite. And then this one was done with we made the scooter in pink. It's kind of Audrey Hepburn, a nod to Audrey Hepburn. I think it was Roman Holiday was the movie where she was on the scooter. So this is a bonus project, and you can mix and match any of our club designs into it. So if you want to make an owl tote, like you could totally make an owl tote. Or turn the
owl's upside down.
Oh no. Poor guy. All right. So you can make an owl tote. You could make well, let me show you what we have coming up, because these are also mix and matchable designs. So in October, we're working on some Christmas designs, and we have a table runner. This is called Twisted Holidays. So one of the projects is this table runner. See how we've kind of set they're like little Christmas presents, so we've kind of set them on an angle just so it's like really fun and festive. And then you could also, so this one was done with hand embroidery and crayon tinting. And then we're also going to have the pieced blocks, so you can make it with just pieced. Now, I mentioned that we like to get really creative with our projects and do mixing and matching and giving you ideas for different palettes and colorways and things like that. So imagine you could make this table runner in like party colors, like pink and purple and blue and yellow, and make like a happy birthday table runner that you put out whenever it's somebody's birthday in your house. Like how cute would that be? Another project, and this is coming October 20th. So if you join now, in the next week or so, you're going to be getting all of these projects. Here it is. So we're also going to have a wall hanging pattern in that collection, and it's got options to say Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy Birthday. So again, you could do like the Christmas themed one, like I have here, or you could take like the pieced block and do the pieced block in those party colors and put that in the wall hanging and put Happy Birthday at the bottom and have a fun birthday banner for whenever somebody in your family has a birthday. So that could be a really cute idea. So you can look for this one October 20th. All of our new collections come out on the 20th of the month. So So that's going to be a fun collection. And I just wanted to say, oh, you know what I did? I did print out, because I didn't have time to make the happy birthday version, but I did print out so you could kind of get an idea of what the happy birthday wall hanging would look like. That's fun, right? Super cute. Are there any questions before I go on?
Someone had a question on the rules and the cost for the club.
Okay, rules. There aren't any other rule. There aren't any rules other than have fun. That's a rule. That is a rule. You must have fun. So the Art of Home Club is $10.95 a month, and for the $10.95 a month, like I said, you get your collections every month, which have multiple projects and multiple applique and hand embroidery designs. So that right there is well worth the cost, because you know what patterns cost now. They're pretty expensive. It's less than a yard of fabric. It's less than like maybe 2 lattes over at Starbucks. So $10.95 a month, you get your monthly collection. You get all of the bonus stuff on the club website, which is just like so many different projects. There's tons and tons of tutorials. Like we've got applique, we've got hand embroidery, we've got wool applique, we've got fabric painting a couple of different ways, we've got crayon tinting, we've got all kinds of bonus things on there. We've got recipes, just if you feel like, looking for a new recipe for some fun in the kitchen. So yeah, so that's, it would include your swap. So if you want to do the swap, you can, you send us your ornament, and like I said, we mail them back out to you so that you don't have to be doing a lot of shipping. The other reason we do that is because we know that sometimes with swaps, people sign up for a swap, and then something happens and they don't follow through, and somebody has sent out a swap item and not gotten anything back. And so we handle the swaps here so that we know if you send one into us, you will get something back. That's another reason why we do it that way, and that's kind of our gift to you, is to organize the swap and send those ornaments back out to you. And we usually do 2 swaps a year. Sometimes we usually do the ornament one around this time for Christmas and the holidays. But other times a year, we've done mug rugs, we've done pincushion swaps, are super, super popular when we've done the pincushion swaps. So we do the swaps a couple of times a year, most years. So let's see. Okay, so let's talk about some other upcoming collections, because I do have a few samples. So I showed you the Christmas things for October, because we normally like to give you things a couple of months in advance. So October, I'm giving you the holiday designs. And in December, I'll show you in a minute, we'll be working on Valentine's Day. So we've got for November, we've got some flower baskets. So here, as an example, here's the same block, one done with machine applique and one done with hand embroidery. And this one's going to go into a quilt. This one, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with this one. I'm still thinking about that. But just to give you an idea of the different options that you get. So there's that. And then I just got done doing the applique on these yesterday, so I can show you. I love how these came out. These came out really cute. They each have a different flower and a different fruit. So there's your watermelon and your pear. And there's your apple. And these kind of look like sunflowers. And then tulips and a lemon. And then some other flowers with some strawberries. So, and this is free motion applique, which I find is helpful if you're using small pieces for applique, and we do have the tutorials for that on the website as well. We always try to give you just like different tips and ideas for how to do your project. So this would be in November. And talking about that mix and match idea, if you want to make the tote bag, you could use, any one of these flower blocks in your tote bag. Like this would be a really cute summer tote bag, wouldn't it? For taking to the beach, to the library or something. So you could do that. You could do, if you were doing like the happy birthday, say you did this in the happy birthday version, and you wanted to make something maybe a little bit more floral, you could do, you could do that on your birthday banner. So lots of different ways to mix and match. And then, like I said, we have coming up in December, we'll be working on Valentine's Day, and I just started doing the hand embroidery for this little block. Little kitties. And if you don't like cats, as I said, it's Valentine's theme, so we're going to have love. We are going to have little Valentine flowers. got the Be Mine heart. We've got the Hello Sweetie strawberry. And we've got the Love jar of hearts, if you can see that. And again, you know, take this, put it on a tote bag, maybe use it. Where's my owl quilt? I lost my owl quilt. But like you could take the owl quilt design, and there's no rule that says that you can't do, you know, make a Valentine's quilt out of pink and red and purple. So you could do that. Lots and lots of different ideas, and every month you'll get ideas for mixing and matching. And what I love, the other thing that is included with the Art of Home Club is a private Facebook group, and that is where members really get to show off all the projects that they've been making, they're mixing and matching, and that's probably like one of my favorite things about the club is seeing what other people make with the patterns, because our members always come up with like the neatest mix and match ideas for patterns, and it's just so fun to like get ideas from each other about different ways to make the projects. And actually, we just had somebody yesterday post this on our So Quilty Friends Facebook page. This was Jill, and she said, "Block 3 of the Secret Fairy Garden is done. I'm still hand painting and doing accent with embroidery. A few months ago, I pushed myself to become a member of the Art of Home Club so I could become better at making points, squares, rectangles, and triangles. I've always been an art quilter, but traditional quilting designs scared me. Having easy to cut and sew directions is amazing. My items aren't perfect yet, but my skills are improving the more I sew. I'm having so much fun. I love all the applique patterns." So that's just, you know, Jill is just telling us how much she really likes being in the club for lots of different reasons. Our members, we just have a lot of fun in our group. I will tell you that it's just a really nice group of people. Everybody's nice. So, you know, I don't know. Sometimes you get in a group and people are just not very nice. I don't know why people have to not be nice online, but sometimes they're not. But I can tell you that that is not the case. I can think of 1 or maybe 2 times in 6 years that we have had an issue in our group, and of course we address it right away. But because our people we're just nice people, and we like being nice and hanging out with nice people. It's a very motivating group. It's very encouraging. So it's a fun place to be. So again, the Art of Home Club, it's open through Friday, but if you join today or tomorrow, tomorrow is Monday, October 10th, you get the bonuses that I was showing you. You get the Gnome for the Holidays collection with the Advent calendar. You get the It's a Hoot collection with the owl quilts and the owl placemat. I'll show you that one again. Also comes with a wall hanging design. You get that. You will get the Apple Basket quilt pattern. Oop, it's upside down again. The Apple Basket quilt pattern, which is great for autumn decorating and snuggling. Then in October, October 20th, so just a few days, you'll be getting the Holidays with a Twist collection. And and then all of the super duper bonus stuff of the kitties and the other Valentine designs. That's December or November baskets, and all the bonus stuff like there's bonus quilt patterns, there's tote bags, there's a zipper pouch pattern on there. Like it tells you how to take any block, because you know we all always end up with like one block. Maybe you made it and then you didn't do the rest of the project, or you just really liked an applique or an embroidery or even a pieced block design, and so you made it and now it's kind of sitting there on your table and you don't know what to do with it. You could make a zipper pouch out of it. You could do a tote bag out of it. There's lots and lots of different ideas for using all of the club designs. Are there any other questions?
How do you act? Is anything mailed or is everything online?
Everything is online. They're all PDFs. So on the 20th of the month, you go and you can get all of your new patterns for that month. You have 24/7 access to the club website with all of the video tutorials, PDF tutorials, patterns, and that kind of thing. So the only exception would be is if you're doing like one of the swaps, and then we're going to mail you a swap back. And I will say that every year around Christmas time, for the last couple of years, we have been sending out a little gift to our members in the mail. I'm just saying that that's normally what happens. And this year I've got something cute in mind. So that would be something else that you would get in the mail. But as far as patterns, no, the patterns are digital.
Can you quit at any time?
Absolutely, you can quit at any time. So it's a month-to-month membership. You're going to get billed on approximately the same day. We do PayPal or credit card. So you're going to get billed on approximately the same day every month. And you can quit at any time. And the other thing is, whatever price you join at, you get grandfathered in. So, or grandmothered in, let's just say. So right now it's $10.95 a month. We have not raised our prices in over 4 years. The price of everything is going up. We're trying really hard to keep our price low. I don't know. I mean, at some point we are going to have to raise the price. We are trying to avoid that, but I mean, it's coming. Let's be honest. The price of everything is going up. Overhead is going up. So yes. So right now it's $10.95. If you join at that price today, and you for however long you're active in the club, you will always pay $10.95. So 100 years from now, when I am still doing the Art of Home Club, and the price is $300 a month, you will still only be paying $10.95. Just kidding. I don't think it's ever going to be $300 a month. But just my point is that for as long as you are a member, you will stay at $10.95. And even if we raise the price, no matter what we raise the price to, if you stay an active member, you will always be at $10.95 a month.
Do you have pre-printed panels for the collections?
No, we do not. It's a great idea, and it's something I've thought about. But honestly, there's a lot of work that goes into making the panels. They're from like my original artwork, so I draw the things and then I sit and I paint them on my iPad, and then I have to send them out to the fabric printer, and I get test swatches back to see if the colors are right, and I have to make changes to the colors because maybe they're not quite right, because things don't look the same on the screen as they do when you actually print them. So right now I do so much of the club design and work myself that I'm just not capable of doing that. But I think that's a really fun idea. Like, I would love to make panels. So who knows? Maybe someday.
Any machine embroidery patterns?
No, we do not have machine embroidery. We have talked about it, and we may have that in the future, but right now it is just the hand embroidery or the applique patterns.
That's about it for questions right
That's
now.
it for questions? Okay. So we were talking about our giveaway. Let's give everybody just one more minute, if you haven't commented yet, to enter the giveaway. We are sending the Harvest Blessings quilt labels, which are super cute, and you get 9 on this little panel, and you can use them for any fall project. You're also going to get a pattern for hoop quilts, and then you're also going to get some other goodies from around the office that I'm going to throw in the box. But I haven't picked them out yet, but we have all kinds of goodies floating around the office all the time, so I'm going to throw those in the package too. So, did I say how to enter? To enter, tell us where you are tuning in from and what your favorite autumn activity is, because we were talking about all things kind of autumn and cozy and homemaking today, like sewing, baking. I guess raking leaves could be a homemaking kind of thing. I hate raking leaves.
Someone likes jumping in them, though.
Somebody likes okay. Jumping in them would be a lot of fun. You know what? Our dog, our Chihuahua Alfie, I think it's his favorite thing on earth is jumping in the leaves. But after he does it, he stinks. He stinks so bad, and then he needs a bath, and that makes him sad. But it is like his favorite thing to do is jumping in the leaves. He loves it. Okay, are we ready to pick a winner, do you think?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to randomly pick a winner. Thank you, everybody who entered our giveaway.
All right, and the winner is Miranda Steele.
Miranda Steele.
From Petaluma, California.
Petaluma, California.
And she enjoys watching movies and sewing for her fall activity.
Watching movies and sewing. Those are great fall activities. We actually, didn't we just drive through Petaluma recently?
California?
Yeah.
When
we went like 2 weeks ago, our daughter moved to
I don't
California.
know. Where is Petaluma?
And we drove through. And it was a town with a P. Maybe it wasn't Petaluma.
I don't know.
What's the other town with a
I don't know where
the
Petaluma.
other town in California that begins with a P?
I don't know where Petaluma
Because
is.
there's only two.
Where is
Maybe
Petaluma?
I'm thinking of another town. I don't know.
Petaluma. Where is Petaluma?
I don't know. We flew into Portland, Oregon, and we drove down the Oregon coast and Northern California coast, and it was just beautiful. Like, because we live on the East Coast.
We could have
It's just different.
driven through Petaluma.
Yeah.
We might have.
I think
it's
we
on
did.
the 101.
Yeah, I think we did. So anyway.
Okay.
So Miranda, maybe we drove by your house. I don't know. Probably not. Who knows? So, okay. I guess there's no more questions?
No.
Okay. All right. So, thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the little demo that we did at the beginning. If you came in late and you missed the demo, I did a demo about how to accurately trim pre-printed panels. So if you missed that and you want to go back and watch the replay and watch the beginning of it, you could do that. And we talked about the Art of Home Club. Don't forget about all the bonuses that are available now through the end of tomorrow. You can join the club now through Friday, October 14th. We only open a couple times a year. But if you want all those bonuses that I showed you, which there were a lot of them, then make sure you join before the end of the day tomorrow. And if you have questions, just write to us at comments@jacquelinesees.com, or you can leave a comment here on this Facebook Live. We will try to, depending on how many comments there are, sometimes the comments get lost. So I think that's it.
Okay.
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Happy fall, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Enjoy your day. And thanks for joining us. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.